Welcome to our Zoom Standards Board hearing. This hearing is for educational purposes and the allegations are fabricated for this example. We will shift between conducting the hearing and explaining how to navigate the process. Please visit our YouTube page to watch a video tutorial on how to set up a Zoom hearing. Here are a few important reminders for your Zoom hearing before you get started. Ensure you provide the Zoom link to all hearing participants at least 48 hours in advance. This includes your board members, the complainant, the respondent, and any witnesses. If any party has requested an advisor, they should also have the meeting link. Next, it's encouraged for you to record the Zoom hearing, like we are doing today. Third, all witnesses should remain in the waiting room until it is their time to answer questions. In our example today, we will have one witness. Also, the Standards Board should only hear cases that violate fraternity policy. The Standards Board should not hear a case where a member has allegedly violated a local, state, or federal law, such as sexual assault, or when there is a legal proceeding that is occurring. Finally, the free version of Zoom lasts 40 minutes. If your chapter does not have the premium account, you will want to consider this. Most hearings will last less than 40 minutes. If you are concerned about time, the deliberation between the board members when determining responsibility and sanctions can occur in a separate Zoom. Fraternity staff can assist if you need more suggestions. In general, here's the order of any Standards Board hearing and the one we will follow today. The Vice President of Standards will start the hearing. All members of the hearing are then introduced. The charges are read and the respondent can state whether they plead responsible or not responsible. If the respondent pleads responsible, the Standards Board should go directly to sanctioning. For this hearing, the respondent will plead both responsible for one charge and not responsible for a second charge. The complainant presents his side of the case and will call any witnesses. Any participant in the hearing may ask questions of the witness. The respondent presents his side of the case and will then call any witnesses. Closing statements are then given. The complainant and the respondent leave the room and the board deliberates. Finally, the decision is given to the respondent. For more information on appeals, please visit our website. We will now start the sample Standards Board hearing. I will serve as your Vice President for Standards. I will now bring in all members of the hearing from the waiting room, except for the witness. This is a hearing of the Alpha chapter of Alpha Sigma Phi for Brother Adam Stayon as the complainant and Brother Sam Harris as the respondent. Before we begin, I would like to inform everyone here that this hearing is being recorded. I would also like to remind everyone present that everything that happens during this hearing is to be held in the highest of confidence. The board's purpose is to educate our members about the responsibilities associated with being an Alpha Sigma Phi and to encourage brothers and new members alike to take responsibility for their actions. We are meeting today to determine whether a violation of our code of conduct has occurred, and if so, whether or not you are responsible for that violation. We will now move to introductions. Please state your name and your role in this hearing, and be sure to unmute yourself.
My name is Adam, and I'm the complainant in this case.
My name is Sam, and I'm the respondent in this case.
My name is Jeremy Reed, and I'm a member of the Standards Board.
My name is Logan Ishimina, and I am a member of the Standards Board.
My name is Sam Franzoya, and I'm a member of the Standards Board.
We also have Jack Whitsitt in the waiting room, who will serve as a witness in this case. Brother Harris, is there anyone on the board that you feel should not participate in this hearing for any reason?
No, there isn't.
It is alleged that Brother Sam Harris brought guests to the chapter house, smoked marijuana, and took shots, which later resulted in a medical transport from our house. This violates the following sections of our member code of conduct. I will not abuse nor support the abuse of alcohol or controlled substances, and I will not use nor support the use of illegal drugs. Please indicate if you plead responsible or not responsible to the charge of alcohol and controlled substances.
I plead responsible to the alcohol charge.
Thank you. Please indicate if you plead responsible or not responsible to the charge of illegal drug use.
I plead not responsible to the drug charge.
Thank you. Our purpose is to determine what actually happened during this incident and then to determine whether or not a policy was violated. We will be asking questions throughout the hearing to clarify the situation so that we have all of the necessary information to make a fair decision. Since Brother Harris pled responsible to the alcohol charge, we will focus our questions on the illegal drug charge. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? The board is now ready to hear from Brother Adam Stayon.
Just wanted to thank the Standards Board for agreeing to hear this case today. I am serving as the complainant because I had a direct involvement with the case. On the evening of April 1st, Brother Harris knocked on my door because he needed assistance. He said he had 4 friends over to the chapter house who were visiting from home. He frantically came running into my room asking for help because one of his friends was throwing up in the bathroom. I immediately ran to the bathroom to check on this situation and made the decision that that particular individual needed medical attention. So we called 911. The ambulance came to the house. Just a few minutes later, Brother Harris shared with me that they were playing drinking games in his room and taking shots that night. However, when the EMS arrived and asked Sam if his guest was under the influence of any controlled substances, Sam indicated that he may have been smoking weed earlier that evening.
Thank you, Adam. Brother Harris, do you have any questions for Brother Stayon?
I have no questions.
Do any members of the board have any questions for Brother Stayon?
Yeah, Adam, what events in the evening did you actually witness?
I did not actually witness any of the events. I'm only aware of what Sam shared with me after the fact.
Are there any other questions for Brother Stayon? The board is now ready to hear from Brother Harris. Do you have a statement you would like to make?
I do. Thank you for hearing the case. First, I want to thank Adam for helping me that night. As I mentioned, I'm taking responsibility for using alcohol in our house with guests. They were underage, and I should not have invited them over to play drinking games. I do not accept responsibility for the drug use, though. I didn't smoke that night, and none of my friends smoked any weed at the house. They told me that they had smoked in their hotel before coming over.
Okay. Brother Stayon, do you have questions for Brother Harris?
I do not.
Do any members of the board have any questions for Brother Harris?
Yes. So, Brother Harris, were you aware that they had been smoking weed prior to coming to the house?
Yes, I knew they were smoking, but I did not join them.
Are there other questions from the Standards Board for Brother Harris? Brother Harris, do you have any witnesses to call in?
Yes, I'd like to call Jack Whitsett.
Okay, I will bring in Jack from the waiting room. Welcome, Jack, and thank you for joining us as a witness. We will now let Sam ask you questions, which will be followed by Adam and then the board.
Hi, Jack. You're my roommate. Did anyone smoke weed or use any other drugs in our room?
No. The only activity that I personally witnessed was you and your friends playing a drinking game that involved shots.
I have no more questions for Jack.
Thank you. Brother Stayon, do you have any questions for Jack?
I have no questions.
Do any members of the board have questions for Brother Whitsett?
Jack, I have a question. Did you participate in the activity?
I did not.
Okay. Why did you choose not to stop the activity, knowing it was against the chapter rules?
He had some friends in town, so I didn't really want to say anything. And honestly, I didn't really think anything was going to happen.
Does anyone else have questions for Jack from the Standards Board? Thank you, Jack. You may now leave the hearing. We will now proceed to closing statements. We will start with Brother Stayon and then move to Brother Harris. Each member is given up to 3 minutes.
I have no further information to provide the board.
Thank you.
Thank you again to the Standards Board. I hope that you've seen that my guests and I didn't use any illegal drugs in the house. I should not have invited them over to play drinking games. It was irresponsible and put the chapter in unnecessary harm. I'm thankful for Adam and thankful that he called for help. I do accept responsibility for my actions.
Great. Thank you. The board will now meet to make a decision. Please wait in the waiting room, and we will call you back when a decision has been reached. As the Standards Board deliberates, this is a good opportunity to move the complainant and the respondent to the waiting room. The board can stay in the meeting or move to a breakout room. For more information on how to do both, please visit the Zoom website. We will now go back to the hearing and welcome back Sam and Adam. The board has carefully considered the statements made and the evidence presented concerning this matter, and we have come to the following conclusion. I will not abuse nor support the abuse of alcohol or controlled substances. Responsible. I will not use nor support the use of illegal drugs. Not responsible. The board has decided on a recommended sanction for this violation. It is the intention of the board that the sanctions be educational in nature and that it allows members to become more aware of and be able to accept the responsibilities of being a member of Alpha Sigma Phi. The board has decided upon the following sanctions. Brother Harris will assist our Vice President of Service and Philanthropy with planning an event for Aware Awake Alive, Alpha Sigma Phi's philanthropic partner. This is due by October 1st. Brother Harris will prepare a presentation on chapter house policies, our member code of conduct, and each member's responsibilities for their guest. This is also due by October 1st. We encourage Jack to participate in this presentation on how brothers can intervene if they see another brother violating a fraternity policy. Finally, Brother Harris will complete the Tightrope program, an online educational program regarding alcohol and illegal drug use. Brother Harris needs to complete the final exam with at least an 85% score. All appeals should be made in writing to the Prudential Board. Appeals should occur within 5 days from the time the member was notified in writing of the decision, which will be in 72 hours of this hearing. This concludes our Standards Board hearing. Thank you. If you have any questions on how to conduct a Standards Board hearing for your chapter, please contact fraternity staff for additional training and support. Thank you.